Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of Galaxy and Revolt, a Star Wars hyperspace D6 game. Um, Galaxy in Revolt! Jedi Master Kaya Kadath and her apprentice Ros Lek have been sent to the twin planets of Dabo and Boda in the Outer Rim to stop separatists from conquering this idyllic frontier world. Joined by prototype Vulture droid Val and Jedi strategist Orlena Vu, they must lead the blazing 420 to victory over the threats to this peaceful planet. To these peaceful planets. Okay, so we start on a battlefield. Rolling blue grass, swaying gently in the breeze. A large expanse of kind of savanna grasslands with the scattered yellow trees and these kind of red, these winding rivers that look red because of the kind of the bright red stone underneath crisscross the battlefield. And in the distance, Kaya, you can hear and start to see a legion of battle droids, tanks, super battle droids, lining up to attack your compatriots.
The blazing 420.
The blazing 420.
You gotta keep reading it.
It'll get serious at some point.
This is my fault and I regret nothing.
And Bart is he a captain Bart? Is he a commander Bart?
So Bart is your captain, so he's basically your Rex. But so your Cody, who's like Cody's like in charge, is Commander CT, because you didn't understand that was not his name.
Yes. I thought he was introducing himself to me. In a way, he was. Okay. Yeah, I'll kind of surveil the marshalling forces, listen to the panic of the local wildlife. And we're not being taken by surprise now. The battle line is simply advancing, right?
Correct.
And,
Yeah, no, you are well aware.
Yes.
You are well aware.
Then yeah, I'll put down, my specs. And go. I told you I'm wasted on the front lines here. So I will go find Orlena. And or CT.
Okay, yeah. Orlena's probably with CT. CT has learned to describe the battlefield to Orlena as she kind of, as a reminder, Orlena is physically blind but sees through the Force, kind of describing the battlefield. And you can feel, indeed, the nature around you, the disturbance in the distance. But yeah, CT is kind of going through a couple different things, and he's like, we pretty easily outnumber them, sir. Or not outnumber them. They outmaneuver, outsmart. Battle droids aren't smart.
If we're looking at some kind of simulation or like area hologram, could we have discovered previously but used now? Can I make little idle force pushes and motions so that Orlena can better see?
Sure. Yeah.
Like, here's their army and here's our assets and here's their value. So I'll start doing that to kind of get her caught up on any changes, but just force ping around on the map of what we're dealing with.
Yeah, so you all are on the planet of Dabo. The other planet in the system is Boda, and you know that what the heck are their names? there's a General Andala and her Padawan Moss are on the other planet. And you've met them before. Andala is a Tagorian who are like cat people. So she kind of looks like a leopard. And she wears sort of like old-fashioned, like almost, they're like very out-of-date Jedi robes. They're like white and gold. They're kind of High Republic style. And Moss is an Atalan who Kit Fisto. So he's bright orange, and he's always just, his robes are always just kind of wet and damp. And he typically wears like goggles just kind of with water like suctioned to his big black eyes. They with their legion are having a very successful effort on the other planet. You all don't think the Separatists will be here long. It's did I close the map? Of course I did. Let's see. This planet, as I said, is in the Outer Rim. It's out towards Kessel, so it's on a fairly important hyperspace lane, which is why you think the Separatists are here and attempting to take it as a good waypoint on these hyperspace lanes. And perhaps as a foothold into Kessel, where they can get some spice mines. Let's see. So, Orlena and Kaya are in the command center with Commander CT. Let's think what else. Blazing 420 armor is, their color is predominantly green. I know, big shock. So they were traditionally, obviously, white clone armor, and any insignia as the 501st is blue, or Wolfpack is gray. It's kind of a bright green. And as a reminder, let's kind of re-intro everyone's characters. CC is playing Orlena Vu, who, as mentioned, is currently a Jedi strategist. They traditionally work in Jedi admin, and only recently, in the last year, when the last adventure took place, have started to go back into the field. Liz is playing Ros Lek, a Padawan to Master Kadath, and is a Gulpin, which are Star Wars hobbits, shape-shifting hobbits. Mr. Mixel-Piddlix.
It's every Saturday morning cartoon leprechaun you've seen.
Yep. Now imagine that, but she likes droids and has a lightsaber. That we've decided can change colors.
Yeah.
Jedi Master Kaya Kadath is a Jedi Master named Kaya Kadath. I feel like that sums up a lot of her character, really. She acts like what you think a Jedi Master might act like.
Absolutely insufferable,
Yep.
professionally.
And finally, what stream is complete without a literal starship? Jay is Vulture Variant 4 Light Recon, aka Val, a Vulture droid built for Light Recon that was reprogrammed in the second episode. As implied by Season 2, there are 10 episodes of Galaxy and Revolt Season 1 available on our YouTube channel. I think they're quite good. They take place pre-Clone Wars. Okay. Speaking of Ros and Val, what are you two doing, though, as you prepare for this battle?
I mean, Val is probably very far overhead, watching things.
Okay, perfect.
I think Roz. I think she would be with the men,
Okay.
like with the other soldiers.
Yeah.
They're prepping them, or if they're in their lines already, just kind of standing very nervously near them.
Okay, yeah. So a couple other important clones. Commander CT, Captain Bart. There's Captain Cat. Val is probably very familiar with the flight commander, whose name is Red. I don't want to hit everyone with a million names right now, so... And then... There's a bunch more. But, okay. I'm not going to hit every... Like I said. So kind of Ros... Captain Bart is, often kind of with you, delegating commands from the general. So he's kind of checking all his gear. And he keeps nodding, like... He's got a bet with some of the boys that he's going to hotwire one of the separatist tanks. And he's trying to beat his time. So he's got a bet with some of the guys going.
So yeah, for a little bit of reference, like this isn't our first rodeo at this, right?
No, this is not... Yeah, you've been on this planet for a little bit. This is not the first battle of the Clone Wars you've all been involved in. We're, let's say, 3 months after the Battle of Geonosis. So, like, yeah, this is not your first go at the bronze ring. Nailed it. Brass ring. Nailed it.
Let's try.
Upper octagon.
You all get it.
Yes. Yeah, and I might allude to introduce a bottom-up wipe. That I don't want to put the troopers in any more danger than possible. So if things start to look a little hot, we call our angel of the sky. Angels being space dust hallucinations occasionally seen by fighter pilots. Very confused.
They're from a moon. I can't remember what moon he says, but
they all look like Natalie Portman.
Allegedly.
One thing I know.
Kids got
they
games.
like to think so. Yeah. They like to think so.
A little astromech droid, who's clearly been cobbled together. Like, he's the store brand astromech droid that the Republic sent to Kaya because she doesn't really care about droids. It's because he's CBD 69, and I think it's consumer brand droids 69. Like, he's the bare minimum. And he kind of comes in and he's like, brr, 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 brr.
I'll look at everyone else.
CT says, "Oh, the boys are ready when you are, sir."
Terrific. Does anyone speak binary?
I do, sir.
I just, yeah.
Oh, everyone else in the room
Everyone
raises their
but Kaya.
Brr, 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 brr,
Excellent.
brr. Kind of stops for a second, then just backs out of the room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do we have like dog fighting? They look like little A-wings. What are the Jedi?
Yeah. You have a Jedi interceptor if you'd like to use it, and then you also have.
Why else would they give me a an astromech at all?
Right, but you do have. Yeah, every Jedi gets an interceptor, as far as I know. Yoda's is tinier. It's cute. But yeah, I think they're longer than A-wings. Like, they're pretty big ships.
Yeah.
And then, oh boy, I can't remember what the X-wings are called. But y'all get the clones have the X-wings and the gunships, kind of. And
I guess Ros rides along with Val now, right? Has a little special cockpit attachment.
I mean, a little Grogu seat.
Little Grogu seat.
And
a hyperspace ring.
But yeah, like, if Ros wants to... Ros gets her own ship if she needs it. Like, I'm not going to be like... Although, I don't know... does Orlena get a ship? Like, I feel like, I mean, the droid does most of it for you. Like,
That's true.
but there could also just be a second seat in Kaya's.
We might want to
Just like
keep you on capital ships, dear.
But I almost love the idea of like it's Kaya and Orlena in a ship, and then the droid is still just doing all the flying, and you just sort of it's like a roller coaster basically. You have no control over it. I don't fly spaceships. That's what droids are for.
I'm cool sharing a ship.
Okay. Hey, that's what fighter jets have two cockpits, or two pilots.
Makes sense.
Okay. So, but yeah, anything you've all seen in the Clone Wars, I know I am joking about how you're getting you are properly fit for battle. You have good clones. You know, they can give you the rejects. You have all the equipment you need until you get stranded somewhere and it's plot convenient that you don't.
I take off my jetpack immediately.
That won't come to bite you in the butt.
When is a jetpack ever useful?
Exactly.
Anytime Jon Favreau doesn't need it to be. Oh no, we ran out of fuel. Did you? Did you?
So yeah, I'll probably leave Orlena to marshal things from the bird's eye view. We've got our eye in the sky and Val, and yeah, I will. If things are about to start popping off, I should be with the med as well.
Okay. A couple of the clones come back on speeders. They've done a little recon, and they kind of like speed by and like give you a thumbs up, like we got this. Like this is not going to be rough. Okay. Val overhead, you see, this is actually like a shockingly small force. They've really spread out so they look bigger, but it's not a lot of droids. Like you're almost surprised, and doing some calculations, you're like, there should be more droids left than this. So that's a little odd, but they might just be trying a new strategy.
So I'm of course going to relay that, but I'm also going to relay like I'm suspicious that what we see marching towards us isn't the thing they want. We need to be worried about.
So do you think Val could like expand her
That's
sort of
kind
sensors
what
a
I
little
meant is
bit?
like since we know where they are and there's not that many of them, we're not worried about them. What else is going around on the greater area?
Okay, so let's remind everyone how the rules work. We're gonna make a roll.
Ooh.
So
56.
you all have a dice pool determined by your stats. It's however many d6 for Val. For search, it's 8 because perception, and then you have a special all your special extra stuff adds 2d to search checks specifically. So 8d6 plus 6. One of the dice is a wild die, and if you roll a 6, it explodes. If you roll a 1, something bad happens. A complication happens. And if you get more than twice above the critical number or the target number, you crit, and something really good happens. So, can I get a search check from Val, please?
Still an amount of d6s. That's floating dice exploded, so that's a good first roll.
Ooh.
Did not explode a second time.
Hold for math.
Hold for math. I'm totally not opening up my calculator app. Shush. Fine.
It's a lot of numbers to add together.
29.
Okay, perfect. So, kind of like you've gotten so good at scanning battlefields at this point. You kind of, like you hit like a kind of, it's like, okay, infrared spectrometer, check for starship radiation, check for droid life signatures, like figure out which droids are lining up. And yeah, so they've mostly got tanks and regular battle droids out here. And like I said, they're spread out because they've taken any kind of specialized unit and they're trying to flank them. So there's a small battalion of B2 super battle droids, which are a lot tougher and scarier. And basically 2 battalions are looping around behind, attempting to loop around behind your location.
Cool, so we know that.
And you do know that now. And in addition, you can tell that the commander of this separatist force is with one of the advancing smaller, like, sneaky battalions.
Okay, I probably let Orlena know that.
Okay, thank you, Val. So I'll relay that to CT, and then kind of start to strategize. What he thinks that we should do. What I guess probably send our specialized units after them, and
Yeah, he's
us Jedi.
he says it might be best to split the Jedi and a small group of clones to kind of hit them at the head, hit the 2 attacking forces at the head, and then because he's like, well, if the droids are that spread out, then like a regular group of clones can easily take out that many droids. It's like 4 or 5 tanks. It's like 5 tanks. It's not that scary.
Mm-hmm.
So that's his suggestion, but
Yeah, sounds like a solid plan to me. Yeah, and then I'll try and get on comms with Roz, because I know that Kaya's probably not going to pick up. But she was heading towards
I have a comm. It was
Do
put
you
on.
answer it?
It's not on.
It's on vibrate.
It's sitting on a night table.
I'm
They handed me
near.
this, I put it on Do Not Disturb and immediately forgot about it.
I turned off my notifications.
I routinely have an argument with my dad. He's just like, I have a do not disturb button on my phone. I was like, you don't. You don't have that. You can turn off the ringer. There's a way to enable do not disturb, but it's like 2 menus deep. There's not a physical button on your phone. Oh, mine has it. It doesn't.
Does he like just pull up the keypad and start pressing numbers?
God, I don't know.
It's if you hold the power button long enough,
No.
then the phone stops making
Yeah.
noise.
You know what?
Exactly.
That might be it. But no, yeah. I like to imagine Kaya's comlink is just constantly ringing somewhere in the background. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just never stopped ringing. Reassign
But
to
yeah,
the spin. Hello.
You can. missing several quarterly reviews. You are. No good. Can't hear you.
You're breaking up. We're going through a space tunnel.
I'm doing a Kessel run. But yes, if you need to communicate with me, communicate to a clone soldier near me, a clone trooper near me, or use the Force like a grown-up.
So I'll ring Roz.
Understood.
Roz, you get a call from Orlena. Oh my god.
Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good. So Val just got me some information that they're trying to do a flanking pincer attack on us. So we're going to be sending the majority of the clone troopers forward to face the oncoming, and then the Jedi and Val and maybe some other clone troopers will be heading towards those groups. If you can relay that to Kaya, please. I know she just headed your direction.
Yeah, and 4. Oh, all good. Over and out. And then
Bunch of the
Sorry,
clones,
I
you're
probably
like,
would have
finally,
called
someone
her
who follows
Master
protocol.
and yeah, and then Roz will use the Force to relay all the information that was just given to Kaya.
Thank
I could tell you physically with my mouth, but you won't listen.
It's good. It's good practice.
Kaya and Roz, what have your lessons looked like since the war has started?
Oof.
That good, huh?
It's such a
I,
bit of a jump. Go ahead.
I've been figuring that since Kaya's falling sort of deeper and deeper into like sort of disillusionment with the Jedi, Roz has been trying to sort of spin any lesson that Kaya gives her with like the best possible outcome.
Well, because I'm trying to think if I fully returned to old form or not. Because she was a terrible master to Vytoth. I mean, good in a way, but just kind of like, yeah, man, figure it out. Here's a lightsaber. Have fun.
Nope, not in your face.
But I think there's a certain amount that she's trying not to interfere. Like, Roz is already unspoiled, and her problem is with the Jedi, not the Force or anymore so much, and not Roz at all. So she'll let you take, like, positive. It's like, absolutely, run with that. So it's a little bit of both. There's this kind of, like, yep, you're basically teaching yourself at this point, Roz. Like, I no longer need a Padawan to keep me alive, and you really do not need a trashy master they've stuck you with. I'm sorry Yoda kicked you out of the Jedi Knight party. That wasn't fair, and that's me. That's not you. Don't take that.
Right, that's politics. Which just goes into your... It's another downward spiral about...
Absolutely.
The Jedi. Because, yes, by all accounts, Roz is an excellent Jedi. What a Jedi should be. She cares.
Yeah. I have no notes.
She's good and kind and cares. Yeah, like...
But you're a real latchkey Padawan now, because it's just kind of like... You occasionally have to, like... Kaya will start a sentence, and you'll finish it in kind of a Pollyannish good way. It's like, yeah, great. You got it.
I guess. That's pretty close.
For sure. That's what I was going for.
But and in that terrifying way that all Padawans are during the... I mean, Anakin doesn't know he's getting a kid until she just shows up. They think it's for Obi-Wan. Like, they're just like, oh, you must be for me. No. Oh, cool. The lunatic then? Great.
Neat. Who's in charge of these decisions?
Funny, I thought it was.
Everybody in admin is apparently out on the front lines, so nobody's making these decisions.
It's AI. This is the problem with AI.
Mm-hmm.
I just noticed a ruse. Thank you very much.
You did.
Right. Not you. You're better than AI.
Somehow. I don't know. I was interrupted really early on in my initialization process, and I've realized that gives me a lot of room to be weird.
Yes.
And we love you for it. Val is Val. Okay. A bunch of clone troopers get ready. Let me see.
Yeah, can I grab a trooper then?
Sure.
Because I imagine I'm biking down to like the front lines or wherever Ros is entrenched or whatever.
Sorry.
Actually,
A speeder bike, but I just pictured you on a bicycle, and it was very funny. Your robes getting all tangled. But no, yeah, one of those. They're called bark speeders. I always thought
yes,
they were pretty
yes.
bad. Yeah.
But yeah, kind of get there and since I left CT behind, kind of grab whoever's the ranking clone here.
Okay, yeah. Let me just roll randomly. You can see Lieutenant Ness is probably the rankingest clone here, and something about Lieutenant Ness, you can see sort of emblazoned on their clone armor in Arabesh is they them.
You got it, Ness. So yeah. Stop. Get off. Lieutenant.
Say.
Do not take the bait. Do not enter the valley. Get Bart on the horn and tell him he needs to steal one of these tanks even faster than he promised. Ros and I are going to be taking, you pick 5 each. We're going to be taking out their kind of flanking spears.
Snap salute. Immediately picks out 5 clones and has an ARC trooper across the way do the same thing. So relays the message to Bart. You just hear laughing.
I thought he'd appreciate that. So we have one wedge that has their commander, and the other wedge is primarily super battle droids. Is that okay? I'll take the super battle droids. Ros, go cut the head off of this army.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and are we in the same space, or are we transmitting this from hill to hill kind of thing?
You can be in the same space if you would prefer, or I don't know if you think it's better if you're actually not, but...
Yeah, I think I would probably go to her because she would probably be at the camp, or the front line. So yeah, after telling Ness their business, go to Ros, relay this as we get our troopers together. Ros, trust yourself. Don't overextend. And if it looks worse than it is, retreat. We have an entire blazing 420 at your back. But I believe in you. Side note, real quick asterisk. Do you still have 2 lightsabers and one of them Sith as hell?
I think we sort of decided that Roz would have taken apart the other bad lightsaber.
Well, technically, you have 3 lightsabers, Roz.
Oh yeah.
You have the original one you built.
Yep.
You have Severance Tan's lightsaber, and you took one from the pit of Dark Jedi Sith lightsabers from the temple. So one of those is still
lightsabers. 2 of them are Sith as hell.
Yeah. One of those is still a working lightsaber. You just put your old crystal in it. So it's just like a blue or a yellow lightsaber. that you just didn't build. One of them is like an obvious Sith lightsaber, and then your current lightsaber, which is has a purified white crystal in it that you can change the colors of. With a rad filter that the Jedi don't want to hear about, but you've patented. So
That's right. That's right.
I got plenty to choose from if you like.
No, just want to make sure you're well protected. Yeah, and as my crew gets assembled, I will say, may the force be with you.
Oh, with you too, Master.
It always is. It always is. It always is. It always is. It always is.
Okay. So, Bart is going to take the bulk of the clone force forward, along with CT. Kai is going to go after all of the super battle droids. I just love battle droids so much, everybody.
Yeah.
Ros is going to go after the commander, who has a smaller contingent of super battle droids. So, Val and Orlena, where do you think your efforts are best placed?
Well, I guess hearing that Roz is going to go for the commander, I would assume that Val is probably going to go with Roz.
Yeah, I was probably gonna pay more attention to where Roz is going and to land on someone if I need to.
Perfect.
Yeah, so then I would probably go with Kaya, just hoping that we can maybe take care of the super battle droids and then meet up with Roz if they're encountering any trouble there.
Perfect. Okay. So, if everyone looks at their character sheets, everyone should have an initiative score now, which is a shame. I do like the old initiative, but it takes too long. So, let me just make sure it's not something weird. Oh, that's one page. Initiative, here we go. Oh, okay. So, what is everyone's initiative score?
12.
Okay.
12.
Okay.
I got an 8.
And I'm also 8.
Okay. Okay. So, let me pull up. Okay, perfect. Okay. So, Kai and Val, this means you get to go first. I think, we'll just do it like this for now. So Kai and Val, you get to go first. You get to decide what order you all go in. As a reminder, you can take as many actions as you like on your turn. However, they make every action worse. So if Kaya wants to lightsaber 2 people, that's great. She makes 2 lightsaber checks down 1 die each. So, and then if you make 3 attacks, they're down 2 dice. Basically, every action past the first, you make -1 die. Cumulatively. So, again, you could attack 15 people on your turn with a lightsaber. Guess what? You're going to miss all of them pretty much. So,
Yeah.
You may spend force points to double your lightsaber pool. Kaya, since you have been practicing Vapad, If you would like to spend a force point to double your damage from lightsaber, you may. There will be a check involved afterwards, though. You all have about 25 character points. You may spend them either in combat to add 1 die to a roll, or you may spend them to upgrade your characters. There's a little formula for that one. We do that one between sessions. If you would like, you may help an ally. It adds... you make a dice check, and as long as you score good enough, you add basically a rolling 1 die onto the next person's check. So a couple people could help and add a couple different die. Range is more abstracted in this version. You're either basically adjacent to someone, you're nearby, you're far from them. That's the extent of blaster fire, basically, is up to far. Anything past that would be more like stuff Val deals with, where it's like planetary scale, kind of long range, starship combat kind of stuff. Especially because, none of the other characters really have long range weapons. But basically, if you want to move, you're just like, I move. You can basically move 1 range band. Like for free, and then after that it's taking up actions. I think that's about it. Y'all have armor dice. So when you take damage, it reduces your resolve score, which I would like to point out are not hit points. Mm-hmm. It's not how many hits you take in Star Wars, because typically it's 1. It's your resolve to keep fighting. It's your resolve to dodge things. You all should have armor dice on your character sheet. Sorry. There was a bot. You'll have armor dice on your character sheets. When you take damage, you roll as many armor dice as you'd like. If you roll a 6, that die is broken and can't be used until there's a rest. For the most part, any armor die you have Jedi is from your lightsabers. You're deflecting blaster shots. If you want to reflect your blaster, that's a check. Val's is from shields and literal armor. They're a spaceship. Regular blaster fire is difficult, not impossible, but difficult to hurt. An actual shielded target. It's not like a TIE fighter where you're just like, I'm gonna wing it and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna crash it because that thing doesn't have shields.
They're intentionally made of paper mache.
Yep. Good system, Empire. And make them really fast too. So you're just that screaming is the person inside the TIE fighter.
Yes. Good. We require pilots to bring their own air.
Started drinking yet.
Okay. I think that's the real basics. Does anyone have any questions before we kind of get into a round?
How are we treating our squads? Do they go on Arton? Do they?
That's a good point.
Do we have like a command?
Yeah, I think basically you all outrank most of the clones, or you all outrank all of the clones basically. On your turn, you can take like a free action to issue an order to them. If not, they are going to fight to the best of their ability. They're trained soldiers,
Mm-hmm.
But if you want them to, if you like Bart, for instance, Bart's specialty is like vehicles. So like he likes stealing tanks and stuff like that. He's like, no, I don't want my own tank. I want to take theirs. Like that's kind of his thing. So he's often doing stuff like that. So if his basic AI programming for me is going to be like, I see a vehicle, I take it or blow it up. But there's like snipers and stuff like that. Like they're going to kind of default to their specialty. But yeah, on your turn, and if you want them to do something like kind of extraordinary, you can make a tactics check, and it might boost their chances of succeeding.
Excellent.
But if it's like something like big, that one might count as an action on your turn. Like if you're just like destroy all the battle droids, it's just like okay, well, we can, but
Give them
Fight
everything
and
you've
win!
we'll give them everything we've got. The general says, "Start trying, boys."
We were just waiting for a 65-year-old woman to tell us to start.
Oh no, get him! She told us to get him, guys. You're a good general.
I am trying, though this is very much a distraction from the real work we should be doing. But
And here is I know Roz's answer. She cares about these men. Do you care about these men?
oh, the clones, 100%.
Okay.
Yes. No. There's no. One of my opening statements was, "Do not, risk as few men as possible."
Okay,
So
yes.
yeah, I am no Pon Krell.
Good. Yeah, you're not referring to anyone by a number.
No, CT is my best old woman joke, and it was an honest mistake that stuck. Like,
But like to him, he's
thank
probably
you,
like,
Commander.
it's a name. Like it is a name.
Yeah.
It's not. You didn't do it meanly.
No, yeah.
Because Five's name is 5555.
Yes.
And someone's like, isn't Five's a number? He's like, no, it's my name. Like,
Yeah.
it is the world of difference that there's an S on the end of it.
Yes. No, but yeah, I know I'm droid racist as an arc, but no, I have each of these boys as people, and
For now.
and while I don't quite have Anakin's manic, like, obsession with nothing can die ever on his watch, I do take it quite personally. Like, I want to know who we lost. I want to know their numbers, their names, etc. So no, I'm not that kind of monster.
Okay. I didn't think you were, and I know you, like,
Yeah.
enough,
Yes.
but I didn't know.
Well, and to stay internally consistent with Kaya, it's that droids don't show up in the Force that has her
right.
treat them secondarily. Like, that you're not alive the way she understands. The clones all ping on the Force.
Yeah,
Like,
and they all show up. Yoda says they all show up differently, even. Like,
Yeah,
they are all unique individuals.
Yeah, so it's... I'm not just being shitty to droids to be shitty to droids.
There's an arc.
It's an arc. Now
Like said, for now.
Now I tell Ros to talk to you. It's progress.
CBD 69 rolls by. Oh.
And I would love it if, dramatic irony-wise, Val nor Ros were present for this, but Kaya did fight like hell that, no, the droid stays with us. Like, it's not going to serve the Republic. It's not being separated from Ros. You want the giant space baby? It goes with Ros.
Which is maybe one of the reasons why they didn't knight her. Just like, we kind of need her under a chain of command still. Like,
This is why there's a Sith cave under Coruscant currently. You're all bullshit.
a famous Star Wars quote. You're bullshit, dude.
You're bullshit, dude. Oppo, I don't need it from you. I don't need it from you.
Oh, I was alive during the High Republic, I guess.
You and even keel. Nice pun, George.
He's like mean Yoda.
It's just mean Yoda. Okay.
So,
all of these flashbacks are happening as we're
right,
advancing.
yeah,
to
it's a
yeah.
it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's the backstory. It's a different episode that takes place. It's 8 seasons from now, but it takes
Yes.
place 3 seasons
It's really
ago.
going to fill this in.
It's so complicated. Thanks a lot, Dave.
But you're finally going to know what Oppo Rancissus did. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to be important.
He might be dead by now, actually, but I think he dies during the Clone Wars. Like, he's like a big oopsie. Like, he's one of the first big ones to die. No, yeah, because I'm pretty sure Obi-Wan takes his spot on the council.
Oh, okay.
So, okay. So,
Let's do a war.
Let's do a war.
Everyone roll for war.
One or two, maybe little casual war crimes between friends.
So you've watched a Star Wars show before then?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, Kaya, you have Ness, Rocksteady, Hawk, Nyx, Zed, and Breach, and they all follow you out. Orlena, you said you're going to go with Ros, right?
No.
No, with Kaya.
Kaya.
Sorry. Val is going with Ros. That makes more sense.
Going
Sorry.
with
Flying with Bob.
Ness, Rocksteady, Hawk, Breach, and whom?
Nyx.
Nyx.
I need to be down there. I can be down there very quickly, and it's going to end badly for someone.
I'm counting on it.
Okay. Okay, so Kaya, moving forward, there are, you stumble upon some very surprised super battle droids.
Yeah, and I'll discuss this with Ness primarily, just so that all the orders are coming from one direction. But Ness, once we get there, I'm going to make a big loud noise. I expect Orlena to join me because the Force works like that. We are going to draw a lot of attention to ourselves. You and the other clone troopers circle around and start picking them off. With a name like Breach, I'm going to trust you have heavy weaponry.
Yeah, they
We're
just
gonna want
shoulder
that.
a minigun.
Rocksteady
I
and
like
Breach. Yeah. I'm counting on you boys. And yeah, with before we leave whatever tree line or whatever we're kind of landscape we're approaching, I'll kind of disperse them. And I'm just going to start walking in a line of super battle droids, just knowing in my heart that Orlena's coming.
Okay.
I'm really trying. Qui-Gon.
Oh, show up in the last episode. Don't even worry about it. Nothing.
What was that, Ness?
Nothing said.
As you were.
The battle droids kind of stop. Roger, Roger.
Snap.
They like, because they don't really have head. They're like Michael Keaton Batman. They have to turn their whole bodies to look around, and they kind of just are looking around okay, die Republic scum.
Snap hiss open my now blue primary lightsaber, and the Shoto is green. Still honoring my fallen friend, but I'm embracing the brasher blue.
Okay, you go before these battle droids because they're battle droids. What would you like to do?
Ooh, just because I have the Yoda fights a bunch of motherfuckers first episode in my head, I'm picturing a ravine. Give me the so correct me. What is my terrain?
It's very savanna kind of grassland. So it's a lot.
Okay.
There's big boulders around, but it's a lot of open grassy areas. You all probably came through, not necessarily a ravine, but kind of a big rock field. And all your clones are very accurate. They're battle droids. They're not. They take the straightest line.
Yeah.
I also just watched that episode. Yoda's we're not taking a straight line. The battle droids will just take a straight line to you. There's no tactics for it.
Yeah, just get behind these trees, and the tanks don't fit.
Right.
You did it.
I
You
said
idiots.
stop.
All right, so then, yes, I will, two-handed form, which isn't really my form, but just to get their eyes on me. And then I would like to force move a boulder to roll over a couple of them.
Okay, yeah. So give me an alter check.
Sure. All right, alt is not my best one, but... And so it's not 6 plus a dice. It's one of my dice is the exploding dice, right?
Correct.
Okay. Oof. Off to a bad start. 15, and I rolled a 1 on my
Okay.
special dice.
No.
Get my-
That's how the Force works, right?
Well, it is going to come up on Kaya's Fake It Till She Makes It program.
It would come up on a quarterly review if you would ever attend one.
You have 88 unread messages.
We're
Gonna
trying to
ignore
reach you,
that
but you're...
based purely on how many message numbers there are.
There's a little plus sign next to the 999. Is that good?
You have asterisk voice messages.
Oh. It says I have run out of storage messages. Is that a loss? Ooh, visual voicemail. Okay, with a 15,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you almost feel like, yeah, it's like backlifting Yaddle up. Like it's just it's kind of sloppy. Like you're almost ashamed of yourself. It works. Like I'm not saying it doesn't work, but you hit 2 of them, and they kind of they turn. Roger. They start opening fire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll cut back to that. But Val, you can see from the air Ros and her clones, who are the one who's kind of like the highest ranking is Lieutenant Hound. You have Bebop, Click, Bolt, and Ed. Oh, and Bart. I'm sorry, Bat. Because there's Hawk and Bat.
It's a bat with 2 T's.
It's Bat with 2 T's. Perfect. Yes. So you can see them approaching. There's it's only 4 super battle droids, and there is a very a fairly young looking human woman. She's dressed kind of piratey. She's got like a vest on, headband. She's armed to the teeth. She's got like camo paint on her face. But it's like blue and green kind of to match the kind of the blue grassland. And she's kind of low, and she keeps like telling like, I wish you were just quieter. Like Roger. So you can see that kind of from the air. What would you like to do, Val, since you get to act before anyone else?
Well, for now, I'm definitely going to relay all of that, probably at this point, to Ros directly.
Okay.
And then. No, oh,
they're
sorry.
going in that direction. I don't know if she would actually do anything yet. Until the battle over there starts like actually going off.
Okay. But you've relayed to Ros, so Ros, that information has been relayed to you.
Okie dokie. Yeah, and Ros will, finding out that apparently there's a person that's an actual person who's the commander, would be like, yeah, we're gonna capture, not kill this time around. Fellas?
You see a couple of them leave their like guns on like deadly, and then a couple of them switch them to stun. Like they kind of split up. Like we'll take the clankers, we'll go after the commander.
Okie dokie.
I say. Okay. Orlena, you hustling using your once in a lifetime Jedi dash. You catch up to Master Kadath, who has just kind of distracted a bunch of the battle droids by slamming a rock into two of them. You can feel her steady presence in the, well, maybe not steady, her
Her presence.
her presence
be-
in the force.
Might be flickering a bit.
Help. I think I need a new battery. And you can hear the hum of her lightsaber, just one lightsaber, which, you know, is slightly unusual for her. But
Yeah.
what would you like to do? There are 4 super battle droids left. And they have all, like...
I would take up a defensive stance by Master Kadath.
Okay.
And be ready to deflect any blaster fire.
Okay, yeah. And you have... whereas Master Kadath has, as described, 2 lightsabers. You have sort of like one kind of really long hilt, like kind of longer blade almost, lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. I will take up like a 2-handed defensive stance. With it.
Okay, perfect. The super battle droids will go attacking. They like click. And they kind of spread it, and they go. The one in front goes. There's. Can we handle 2 Jedi? Roger, Roger. No, like it wasn't a question. I mean, it was a question. You can't just affirmative. Open die, Republic scum.
My new favorite super battle droid.
They don't get a wild die because they're not special.
Filoni heard that and now it's gonna die.
Let's see. 8, 12. Kaya, that will hit your defense. So you can either attempt to deflect it or just use your armor to kind of you can reflect it if you want to try and take some of them out, or if you're just content to just be like, I'm blocking lightsabers all day, or blocking blasters all day. That's fine.
Yeah, I think she has a moment of panic because, as established, she can't see the battle droids, but she's like, the Force is gonna get my back here. But and actually, that you even mentioned Yaddle's name, and we've recently discussed my abandonment complex. Like, I do think as I'm reaching out to do this basic ass thing and like kind of fumble it, like it's because I'm kind of getting these kind of flashes of all the Jedi who have disappointed me.
All the Jedi.
So kind of freeze up a bit until Orlena's here, and then I can't be shown up. I'm a master. I have to be the adult on set here. So I'll take one hand off and kind of default to Suresu, which is how I came up.
Okay.
And I will simply deflect. If I had maybe had slightly more success, I'd think about. Plus, I'm mostly trying to buy time for my boys and them, but that is a cover for the fact that I got shook there.
Okay. The blaster will do 8 damage.
Okay. And I roll armor to try to abate that, or that is with that in mind? And that is done directly to my resolve?
It's done directly to your resolve. You roll armor to try and deflect as much of it as you'd like.
Okay.
So you can also be like, I don't want to... Like, if you're like, I'm afraid I'll burn 4 armor dice. Like, if you roll 4 6s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, I didn't really need... Because it's 8 damage. I didn't really need that. So you might be like, I roll 2. Because you don't want to break one of them kind of thing.
But don't I only have 11 resolve? My misunderstanding.
Let me double check.
Or do I have 25?
No, you have 11 resolve.
Okay. So 8's a chunk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 8's a chunk. Yeah. I'm just saying if you had like 8 armor dice or something like that, you're like, I'm not rolling 8 for 8 damage kind of thing. But
No, yeah. And do I roll a wild die for that?
no.
Okay.
Yeah, no wild dice for armor or damage.
Okay. I rolled a 5, a 2, a 4, and a 1 on armor, so no 6s, which is good.
There are no
right?
6s, which is good. But that's more than 8, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's. I wasn't sure if I was looking for the total. So then, yes,
So you
Saresu.
properly deflect it.
Yep, I Saresu right out of that.
Haha. No dice. I mean, all the dice. I mean, shut up. Stupid battle droid.
That's why some would argue Saresu is the best.
I mean, Obi-Wan's alive, ain't he?
He sure
For
is.
now.
That was loaded. Ooh, that's actually not great for against Orlena's attack. And you have a better defense against blasters. So that's a miss, Orlena. So you just effortlessly, you like twitch and it just deflects away. Let's do 10. Oh, just one off. So another click.
Sick.
It's just like, did we start? Click, 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 click.
Are they firing yet?
Maybe he didn't even move the lightsaber. They're just like, quick, attack the lightsaber. That's their weak point.
It's glowing bright. It has to be where they take the most damage.
Did we say go? Are we good?
You're supposed to say go.
Ness will appear behind them. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Ness jumps up off of a rock and kind of, like, kicks off the rock that you had thrown at them, Kaya, and you just see, like, a gauntlet knife just plummets into one of the super battle droids as they land, like, 10 feet jump, just full momentum, pins it to the ground, and they kind of like quick draw their pistol, and they just go boom as a sniper shot from behind you takes them out, and Hawk's like yes, click click. Orlena overcomes. You hear Bart go, "New galactic record." Anyone who has comms on may hear that.
Yep.
Am I near and calm enough?
Yes. Now that Orlena is next to you, and
Good. I'd hate to miss that.
I'll put it on speaker for her.
Thank you.
there is one super battle droid left. They just, do you take prisoners?
Yes.
Roger.
Breach, Rocksteady. Make it no shooty anymore.
They're kind of like, it's arms or guns. How do we?
You're the one with the lightsaber.
It's just, they binder cuff them, but
Yeah.
but they're like super like broad shouldered, so it's like their arms are. It's just clearly awkward. But okay, Roger. I knew we couldn't beat Jedi. Roger's not an answer.
No, it's my favorite.
Okay. Roz, you have approached with your fellas. You still have the drop on them because you know where they were because of Val. So how would you like to approach this? You told the boys, don't kill the commander. You can scrap clankers.
Feel Roz would sort of do what the other two did, and is like this part near like a rock or something, like a little overhang cliff.
Yeah. There's like a couple trees nearby that are pretty overgrown, making almost like a canopy. And yeah, there's like a big kind of like, it's like half an arc or half an arch, and then it clearly crumbled at some point. So there's like a bunch of rubble around it, but half of the arch is still standing.
Okay, so while the ones that went for the stun option are like circling around to get the command of Roz, and the other three would like drop down from the trees on top of the super battle droids, and Roz would just like ping pong like off their shoulders, so they would try to like fire on each other.
Absolutely rad as heck.
Detailed point that I'd noticed. Not igniting her lightsaber.
Give me. I want a check, but I want it to be cool. Give me an agility check.
Okie dokie.
So 3 dice plus 2.
And I get the exploder for that, right?
Yes, correct.
So am I adding 2 extra dice or just adding 2?
You add the to whatever your score is. You add the number 2. So it's
okay.
3 dice. One of them can explode, and then your total plus 2.
Okay. So, a 6, a 5 on the regular dice, and then a 3 on my exploder.
Okay. So
16.
11. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. That's pretty great. So, yeah. Roger. Get the Jedi. Just like just twin blasters into each other's faces. The commander's just like, are you craggin' kidding me? Dank Ferric soup. These are super battle droids. She will kind of like square off at you, Roz, and say, "Don't come any closer. I have a thermal detonator."
Like, put up her hands and be like, I also have a thermal detonator. You better not come close to me.
Your move.
You just hear one of the clone troopers go like, "Oh, God, I'm sick." Yeah, and it like kind of like click, like a bunch of clones are like, yeah. We also have the drop on you. The woman kind of like hand out will very slowly start to reach for her belt. If you would you like to do anything to that, Roz?
I mean, I was hoping that one of the clone troopers that were on the stun setting would have come up behind her.
So they're gonna try and stun her. That's pretty good. That's pretty great, actually. Okay. She's gonna try. She's gonna try and dodge that using a thing. No, that clone. No, Bebop got the drop on her. There were like 4 6s in there. He's just like, click. And Click looks at him. Not you, sorry. Like stunned to the back of her head as she reaches for something on her belt, spins, and a lightsaber ignites like halfway through before she's just stunned and hits the ground.
Oh. Hey, just give those to anybody now, huh?
Seriously.
What
Wait,
color did it
You've
say?
got a 4th for your collection.
It's it's a yellow lightsaber. It's like this acid yellow. And looking at it, it's like a super old-fashioned looking design. Like it's got like a big pirate's basket, basically. So, and it's 9:30, so we'll wrap up there. You can hear Bart and CT are just like, nailed it, boss.
At this point, Roz is in a race with General Grievous
But
for who
she's
can have the
nice.
most lightsabers.
Like Ross is gonna fight him at one point, and it'll be just like pulling out.
That's where he got all his lightsabers. He's just like, I stole them from this little girl. It doesn't make me sound cool if I say that, though.
Each one of these represents a fallen Jedi, I assume.
I think.
I don't know what Gulpin are. Have you heard of a Gulpin?
They're actually just copy-pasted Obi-Wan's lightsaber with different colors, but whatever. Roger. I was saying this to CC earlier. In the old school Battlefront 2, when you picked General Grievous, he just came onto the battlefield sprinting, screaming Roger over and over again, just Roger, 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 and you're just like you are scary. Like thank you for Star Warsing, everybody. That's the first episode back for Galaxy and Revolt. Let's do some outros and plugs. Cece, you remain in the top corner. It's still your fault.
I need to fix that.
No, you
I'm
don't.
CC, aka Soup, aka Soupsica on the Twitters and the Instagrams. Yeah, I'm gonna plug doing a whole Star Wars with your pals as well. And also trans rights are human rights.
Liz.
Hi, I'm Liz. I will also promote going to libraries and not banning books, and there are probably lots of Star Wars books at your libraries that are not in canon and in canon, depending on when Dave Filoni feels like making them canon again.
That's true. Yeah. Marty.
Yes. Like and subscribe. I am having a ball. I love all of our clone troopers. I want to take them all home. They're my babies. God, that was a lot of fun and everything I want. I don't know if you're doing this on purpose, but I have nicknamed Bart Bad Bart because that sounds very like serial. As is Lucas's want.
Yeah, sort of bad Maxi. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is an absolute delight. Like and subscribe, click on things, use an Amazon Prime, etc., etc. Check locally to see if you have any elections coming up, just because I know we do. And it's like PTA and like district judges and things. You know, the things that actually affect your community tomorrow. So yeah, look around, vote if you can, because yeah, we're in a really weird cultural war where all of a sudden drag queens are back on the menu, and it's just such a weird place because drag queens were on the front line the first time, and they ain't afraid of you. But also, who gives a shit? Let them just. What's it to you? Anyway, did you like and subscribe already?
Mash the bell.
I was just vamping for time so that you could do that.
And Jay.
Hi, I'm Jay. I technically had no on-screen appearances this episode.
Oh yeah, you're in the sky.
We wiped you.
It's hanging out.
Hey, I didn't roll any dice. I just had good defense.
Quick.
Hey, at least you weren't in a box this whole first episode.
I was doing things. I just
Yeah.
didn't show up on screen.
Yes.
Oh, hey, this recon thing is valuable, isn't it?
Yes.
Somewhere Admiral Tarkin's just like, crap, I wanted that so bad.
No.
Guess I'm just gonna get stuck on some prison with Mean Yoda. Anyway, hi everybody. I hope you enjoyed Star Wars. I love Star Wars, and I love all of these wonderful players, and I will echo everything they said. Hey, don't ban books, because I'm pretty sure that's not constitutional. It's almost like that's one of the ones written in there, and maybe just not the second one's the only important one. I'm just saying. Anyway, vote Be kind. Let's hope for a better tomorrow. Like Star Wars. Which is a better yesterday? Except, don't worry about it. Have
It's
a great
another
time.
galaxy.
It's fine. Everyone's 18
Building
feet
it
tall
better.
or something. Okay.
Building a better tomorrow, yesterday.
They already did it. You don't have to do anything.
Ooh, nope. Nope. That ruined my whole generation. You should really be active.
Oh,
Do things.
right. Sorry. Do a thing, please.
Yeah.
We shouldn't just keep depending on young people to fix it. Turns out, that's mean on the young people. We should make the world better for them. That they can then make better for themselves. That then they... So on and so forth. That's how... It's almost like that's how progress works.
Almost.
Almost. Anyway. Bye.
Andy shall not be silenced.
No. So forth and so on. Here's the intro again.